Right, as you know, every Friday we come with a new episode of the Minding Your Business podcast. I'm your host, Champ Ron. The podcast is brought to you by Brooks Brothers Consulting. Started in June 2013 along with my brother Philip. We are a consulting firm that specializes in leadership talent development as well as business development for small businesses. So listen, if you're a new leader, whether you're new to a company or you're new in leadership role, you need the kind of partner to help you develop your critical thinking skills so that you can be successful, whether you're on the job, whether you started your business, or whether you're in between and you're doing a little bit of both. You need the kind of critical thinking partner to help you develop the kind of skill set to be impactful and influential with your team and be able to drive results and that sort of thing. So you need to give me a call, 901-808-3801, or you can visit www.brooksbrothersconsulting.com. That's www.brooksbrothersconsulting.com. 901-808-3801. Today is episode 47. Man, I'm excited. We're heading really quick to that episode 50. Y'all know what that 50 means, and I'm going to tell you about it in a minute. But first, we got to hit the music, man. Turn it up.
What we do here is go back.
All right, so we got through the music. A lot going on this week. Man, y'all been tripping over this, the barbecue lady in Oakland. Man, the memes are so crazy, man. It's funny how creative. The funny thing about the memes, and let me do this before I get into some of these subjects. Let me introduce these esteemed brothers here, man, who have taken time out to join on the podcast. So those that are looking on the Facebook Live, you can see us. But if you happen to be listening to the podcast, I want to give these brothers a chance to introduce themselves and kind of what they do real quick. And then I want to jump into a few topics. But, man, go ahead and jump on, man, and let's tell the people who you are and who you with.
Yes, sir. Well, I am with Easy Moving Services. I am Arifa Arnett. We've been around since 2015 and just getting better every day, growing. And I don't want to take up too much time on that. I know I got time to keep going. But like I said, we're Easy Moving Services. I'm Arifa Arnett.
I'm Markel Eskridge. I'm a videographer, photographer, multimedia journalist. And I have Markel Eskridge Studios and I have Riverside Films. I'm born and raised between Memphis and Flint, Michigan. I'm an activist. I love getting people involved. I love helping young black men become entrepreneurs. And I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, no doubt about it, brothers. So, man, I was starting to get into, man, it's crazy this week, man, with the barbecue lady. I guess they call her Barbecue Becky or something like that.
Barbecue Becky.
Yeah, that's what
I
they
had
call
a ball
her.
with her.
Yeah. So, man, they hit every move, man. The one that killed me was the New Jack City, man, in the Jeep. Where she's sitting in Nino's spot on the phone.
Yeah.
Man, that killed me. The Prince one killed me where she looking through the window.
Yeah.
Oh, no, did you see the one where she with Barack and Michelle?
Yeah. So, man, shout out to everybody with the memes, man. Y'all
they
are
had
crazy.
Yeah,
they had one with the Q's.
Man,
with the Tommy Dog playing.
Yeah,
man. So, and she calling, telling on y'all, man. So
that was wild.
Yeah, so man, I can't even think of all the memes that have been going around all week, man. But it's crazy, man. And you know, everybody knows the story about all that, so we don't have to get into that, man. But what do y'all think about the business of memes? Because it's come around so quick the last few years. You got the crying Jordan, you know, and you got kids. Man, pretty soon it's gonna be kids that they don't know Michael Jordan from playing ball. They just gonna know him from crying,
from crying on
yeah,
the
from
memes.
the crying memes.
Exactly.
They gonna be like, "Who's Michael Jordan?" No, that's the dude crying on the memes. You know? the greatest basketball player ever.
And the shoes. The Mims and the shoes.
The Mims and the shoes, right?
Gotta know the
Exactly.
shoes.
So, man, what do y'all think, brothers, in terms of that that whole dynamic from a business point of view with Mims and how it's coming and how it helps in some cases promote brands?
Yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
really can. It really can. If it's creative enough and it's catching, if it's funny, because if 1 to 10 people think it's funny and they share it, 9 out of 10 is going to get shared at least 100 times.
Yeah.
No less than 50. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that how could you capitalize off memes when anybody can make them?
Right.
You know, how could you monetize and sell something like it's like selling a gift? You know, how can you really sell it? You know, how can you monetize it when anybody can have access to it and make it?
Yeah.
Well, I
What do you
think one part about that, I don't know if you can directly monetize the actual meme or whatever you want to call it. But I think, see, this is my business calling right now.
yeah.
But I'm
You
gonna
do.
let them call.
That's what the business is supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let
when
them
the
call
phone
our
rings,
other
it's
number.
opportunity.
But I do think in terms of the marketability of it and things potentially going viral, I think, like you said, people can't really choose what goes viral. Different things go viral, but I like the fact that anybody can use the meme and post it on their page or post it on whatever type of flyer they want and get the benefit of the attention that the meme has at the time to
Right.
whatever brand
True.
that they attach it to.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
sir.
that's what makes it hard to monetize.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because usually you can monetize something that has to be really exclusive and there has to be a demand for it. But there's really not a demand for something that's fluid as water. Memes are everywhere.
Well, but think about this particular meme though, like with the lady. So let's just say, all 3 of us got brands, right? What if she had on our brand?
Al Green.
Albie?
That was the
Yeah,
Albie
Al
Green.
Green. I had that. Oh yeah.
And the Meat Mafia.
That was
Meat Mafia.
Meat
Yeah.
Mafia was me.
Yeah.
And Barcade's gonna make it right here.
There you
Man,
go.
Meat
Oh yeah,
Mafia.
look at that. So, man, for those that are listening to the podcast, you missing out. But if you watch it on Facebook Live, you can see our food just came out.
Man.
If you see that pizza, look at that. That's the Albie
Oh, my
Green,
God.
And that's the Meat Mafia.
Man, don't
Don't
drop
say
it.
it.
Don't do that, man.
Don't do
Yeah,
it.
man, drop it off. Yeah,
Man, fat as hell.
We're here, Slice of Soul Pizza Lounge, 1299 Madison Avenue, here in Midtown Memphis, Tennessee. And we want to get through this, man, because we don't want our pizzas to get cold, brother. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, what I was saying with the Mims is, man, what if, like I said, she had on whatever shirt or whatever. What if it had your logo on it and
Right.
everybody was sharing it? Mm-hmm. Or what if it had your insignia or your website or something like that?
Right.
Then see, now you're getting, as great of exposure as you can get with everybody sharing it and laughing at it and stuff like that. But they see in your brand.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a way. Now you just gave me an idea with photography. Because really, to make a meme, you don't need nothing but Photoshop and layer some text on top of a picture and
Right.
put it together.
Yeah, it's simple.
So, just think if you could do that for brands. Take a picture, do their logo, and then make a meme. That's just a 3-layer picture on Photoshop, and you can mash together and sell it.
Yeah.
$10. It's worth $10.
And I've seen people do this even with her meme. Like they'll take her off Photoshop and put her, like just like we here at Slice of Soul, and you put her in the lobby, like she on the phone, like, y'all
Right.
come get y'all pizza or something like that.
Right.
Or they in there
Exactly.
eating pizza.
And the thing about
You
it
could put that out there.
is that she can't do anything about it because once you put yourself in the public's eye, you lose all rights to your privacy.
Right.
So she'll be famous forever. It's like she the Monica Lewinsky of Becky barbecuing.
Right.
Because
Monica
she's going to be infamous. Yeah, she's going to be infamous.
Right.
I ain't got no chill. I ain't got no chill. You know I'm going to get crunk.
Everybody compared to the Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah, because but just look at it like
Right.
except for we know the obvious, but
Right.
yeah, but both of them are infamous, for 2 different things.
Right.
But we'll always remember her.
Yeah.
We will not ever forget Barbecue Becky.
Right.
Just like we couldn't forget Lewinsky. I couldn't forget Lewinsky.
A whole lot of folk could forget
Exactly.
Lewinsky.
She was a hell of a gal.
But yeah, so man, that's funny, man. Barbecue Becky. But yeah, man, that's the whole thing with the meme. The whole meme game's gonna continue to kind of build, and I think there's a way to incorporate it in your business. Again, now let's talk about it from this side. So let's just say that one of the 3 of us had done something where it caught on like that and became viral. So think about it from that way, and maybe it's at your expense in terms of, or maybe it's really beneficial.
Hey, I've been wanting to do a meme of my situation. If you remember, everybody remember my situation, but it was so funny because I take it light. I take it light because, when you accept things for what they are, and you deal with life on life terms, whether or not you make it through or you have a head-on collision, you still have to respect the experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know if everybody know because I'm not updated on what happened.
Well, I can tell you, it ain't no big deal, man.
As long as it don't go too far left field.
No, ain't gonna go left field.
Yeah,
Not
tell them
too
about
far.
your situation, Mark. Because I think it can.
I can articulate it.
benefit.
Yeah, it can benefit
people.
anybody listening or any business owners to not get discouraged when your phone ain't ringing as much. Sometimes they're gonna be downtime in business. You just got to stay focused. And don't give up. And giving up, you can give up on your business in all type of forms instead of just quitting. Sometimes you can do something to get ahead with your business, and it might not be the proper way to do it, and it might not be a good, turnout. So what I did, my business wasn't really.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
The business wasn't really suffering, so to speak. I wanted to expand, and it wasn't going fast enough for me to do the things I wanted to do. I had a lack of patience. And sometimes with business, you have to have a large amount of patience to be able to see things through.
Yes, sir.
And what I did, I didn't have that patience. I wanted to, push the envelope really, really fast. And from my background, there was a lot of things that I knew how to do. I was kind of crafty, with a lot of things I knew how to do. So, but I realized that once you cross over to a certain type of world and you're around certain type of people, you're exposed to certain type of things, you can't do what you did before as far as you have to be a little bit more mature and think about things before you act on them. So what I did, I committed a crime. It was a crime. It was a federal crime. It was a crime that caused me to be on television, TV for 3-4 days, all the stations. But it was a white collar crime. That's why I'm still sitting here, But what I learned from it is that I had a lot of time to think about my business, where I went wrong. I bought a lot of books about my business, and so I was like, well, maybe I need to learn something that I didn't know before, so I won't be in this predicament again. And then when I got to reading books and studying my business, there was a lot of things that opened up to me that I didn't even know before. That had I known that, I wouldn't have left so much money on the table, and I probably wouldn't have made the move that I made because I would have been a lot more patient because I would have had a lot more knowledge about what I was doing.
Right.
Because I never sat down to read. Sometimes in business, we entrepreneurs, sometimes we just, if we got the money, we just buy whatever we need and just jump in.
Yeah.
Right.
But I learned that in grad school. I went to grad school for film and video production. I went again for an MBA, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in film school, and what made me quit after the first, now I quit the MBA after the first semester, but I quit film school after a year and a half.
Right.
I went to film school a year and a half, man. I learned during that time that when people get through with film, they're broke. They don't have no money. So, me, I'm a natural entrepreneur. So, I'm not going to go to school for 2 years to do films.
Right.
When I got to get out and beg for money. So what I said, I need to know business.
Right.
But if I know business, I don't know how to shoot a shot.
Right.
I need to go get everybody I need and get some finance. Right. So I said, well, I need to go to school and learn how to do this MBA thing.
Yeah.
So I got there, went to University of Phoenix, and I learned that the college I went to, they're more concerned with making you a good employee. To where you're either a good manager, where you can deal with employees, or whether you can have a boss. So all the case studies that I was looking at for the first semester, we studied all these different billionaires and millionaires and stuff and how they got rich. But all of them did not have education. I got a bachelor's degree, but they didn't have education. They was paying people like me that was going to school to run their company. So the light bulb popped on again, just like in film school. So I'm like, well, hey, I was on the right track all the time.
Right.
By being a natural entrepreneur, by doing the things that I want to do on my own to get my business up and running without anybody. And I just learned that was the right way to do it. You know, no matter if you're educated or uneducated, Bill Gates ain't educated. He dropped out of college. And a lot of entrepreneurs dropped out of college. You know, even though I didn't drop out, but
Yeah. Or a lot never even went.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I'm gonna do all these case studies on people that do not have an MBA to be successful, so I'm just really here learning how to be a worker. Just with high pay.
And that ain't what you're interested in.
No, and I left after the first semester, and I started my company, and I've been an entrepreneur ever since. But I was always an entrepreneur anyway. I mean, even when I got in college, I sold papers in college. I did essays and journals and took pictures. Cut grass. I've done a lot of stuff. In Michigan, I used to sell bottles. You can sell bottles for 10 cents a piece. When I was young, I used to sell bottles. Go pick up all the bottles and cans and take them, turn them in. They give you 10 cents a piece for all of them. I did that. I always.
Well, talk about because with your moves and stuff that you was making. Take us to kind of that day though. When like you're at your lowest point. So like you down. You know what I mean? And because see, a lot of people, and they don't rebound from that kind of L. You know what I mean?
True.
Like a lot, you kind of, people lose money. You might lose some money, or you lose a contract or deal. But when you lose your freedom, you know what I mean? That's a different kind of thing, man. And unfortunately, in America, we know that there's a lot of people, particularly a lot of brothers and stuff, that lose their freedom over stuff. And you even got now, in states that have legalized marijuana, and then you still got people behind the bars for it.
Refilling your water yet?
No, I think we good.
Everything good?
Yeah, we good.
Thank you.
Everything good, son?
I'm good, Mama. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So man, what do you think about that piece of it, man? And take us to that day when you kind of on that low point, man, because a lot of people get to that low point, they don't come back from it. You know what I mean? So what brought you back?
Well, what brought me back was the people that I encountered during my time away. Being in a federal system, you're around all type of people from all over the world. You're around millionaires, you're around terrorists, you're around anybody that's ever got a beef with the government. You could meet them. It could have been John Gotti, it could have been the Unabomber, or it could have been, if you're on the same level of security with them and you're in the same place, hey,
they right there,
just like we are. But I met this guy, man, named Noah Robinson. He's the half brother to Jesse Jackson. He was an entrepreneur. He went to prison at the age of 46. He's been there 29 years this year. And he was a business owner. Went to the Wharton School of Business. Graduated with Michael Milken. Got friends all over the country. Real corporate guy. He got a lot of somebody. He called them having somebodies on his team. He had a lot of somebodies. And he would talk to me. He took a liking to me, and we would get up and walk every morning.
Yeah.
Walk the track. And he told me about how to do business. He told me about everything that he did that was wrong. He told me about everything he did was right. And he told me that everything he did that was right, he said, you take that with you. And the reason I'm able to snap back because I've been around men that have hundreds of millions of dollars and can't control their lives. They can't walk out the door, so I had that chance. And by me having that chance to put the clock on reset and do everything all over again, there's a lot of people don't get that chance. So That's what motivates me, to not ever get to another low point, because guess what? I could not be here. I could be somewhere and can't leave. I could be looking at a 40-foot wall. I can't see nothing but the sky and birds. I can't see nothing. And that was enough to motivate me once I was able to see freedom, was to pick my camera back up.
Yeah.
I still had all my equipment. I didn't lose anything. I had everything, and you just have to be resilient. You have to know that you're not going to be defeated. No matter what in life. No matter what life hit at you, you got to just being an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is really you're being an entrepreneur of life. Because if you don't understand the principles of life and how to get ahead and stay focused, you ain't gonna make a dime noise.
Yes,
sir.
Well, and it sounded like you said, you had the right kind of mentorship, so you knew to surround yourself even with the right kind of person,
mentors,
and what to extract out of that that can help you going forward, which is important. from a mentorship standpoint that stands out from what you said
Mentor
is that
is
if you're out there now and you're listening to this podcast or you're watching on Facebook Live, it's good to keep the right kind of people, to keep the right kind of environment around you, to keep you positive during them down times. The easiest thing for us to do as people a lot of times is we
fold.
Yeah, we fold and we withdraw. So the easiest thing to do is to withdraw into a shell and just kind of, keep yourself away from people. But really, that's the time to put yourself out there actually a little bit more and get around people that can pour positivity into you. Yes, and then that way you can take that and it helps motivate you to move on. So, your brother Arnett, talk a little bit about your background as well, which is interesting, and about your business.
Well, I'm 24 years old. Went to the University of Tennessee at Knoxville.
Okay.
And while I was there, I was in a lot of organizations in different levels of leadership. Some where I was, didn't have a leadership position where I had to follow and instruction, and I learned from that, being at that stage.
Yeah.
Also, once I was afforded the opportunity to be in leadership positions, of course, I learned from that. But from my entire experience in Knoxville, I learned similar things that you learned at your time away, and that's that you didn't have to have education, formal education, to make it, to be successful. One of the things that made me get into business for myself was that one realization, and talking with people that had quote unquote made it and were doing well.
Yeah.
And the conversations that they were having with me about how they were still paying back student loans, and
student loan debt,
they were in their
Crazy.
upper 40s, and I mean, it's just a lot of things that I talked with people about that I didn't see my path going that way.
Yeah.
So I decided, to take power back in my hands. And I knew that I could do service. I knew that I can communicate with people. So that's what led me into doing this movement service, and anything that I wanted to do, I definitely wanted to help the community out with it as well. So in terms of my background with that, my Granny Lee, Alcine Kuntz Arnett, she helped keep Melrose up. The old Melrose, she led that, so I definitely have the spirit of helping the community in my blood. So what is tied in with my business is to go out and be in the community, is hence why we have our toy and book drive going on right now. And if you want me to go over there a little bit?
Let's jump right into that.
So right now we have a toy and book drive going on, and it's to help keep our kids moving and actively engaged during their summer break. So we're coming together as a city and dropping off toys, dropping off books, new and gently used. Last year we helped over 50 kids and families and passed out books and toys to them, and had a culmination celebration at Glenview Park on Juneteenth. So we're doing the same thing this year, Juneteenth. We're having a celebration, and so here at Slice of Soul, you can come out and drop off, toys and get you a deal. Spend 15, get 20 worth. So make sure you do that. They're going to be around from now until June 17th. So they're at other locations across the city. But if you see one of these signs, see one of these boxes, make sure you go drop off some toys and books for the kids this summer.
Yeah, and if they happen to be out of town or something like that, is there a way to communicate with you, email or phone number?
Yeah, you can contact us on our Facebook page, actually, Easy Moving Services. If they contact us, I'm sure we can open up a way. I'm not sure if they wanted to send in toys or anything, but we are accepting donations as well, and we can allocate that however they deem fit. We do need some capital for the celebration. We're going to have food there. We're going to have vendors, activities, and games for the kids. So, however, if they're out of town, like I said, you can contact us on Easy Moving Services on Facebook.com.
Yeah. And then if they're in town, they can do the same thing, of course. But
yes, sir.
For those that are, of course, if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see this, but of course, he's got the graphic here. here behind us.
Thank you, sir.
Keep your kids moving. Help keep our youth active this summer. As everybody knows, it's crucial to keep kids, busy and keep them engaged, particularly while they're in school. But then certainly during the summer, as you see, sometimes there's an uptick in some negative activities. Sometimes when kids are kind of left to their own vices, and
Exactly.
and we've seen that because we're all here products of in the neighborhood and being able to see the difference
Yes, sir.
of when you keep those minds engaged with positivity versus just left to kind of sit around. So it's great to see you do that with your company to extend out that helping hand and that olive branch, man, to
Yes, sir.
let young people know that there's other solutions, there's another way.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And also give parents an opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Because as everybody knows, everybody's starting to look at summer camps right now. And if you're anything like me, man, I got them 3 girls, and summer camp's a doozy, boy. When you gotta
Yeah.
start paying for it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It ain't no joke, man. When you gotta start paying every week for that summer camp,
Right.
and it's 12 weeks or so,
Right.
You know what I mean?
And like you said, some parents don't have the capital to pay for summer camps. And so at the summer camps, they have equipment for them to use to stay active, to read, to hone their skills on whatever activities that they are doing. But a lot of people in our community don't have the equipment to do so. So
Yeah.
I think it's extremely important for us as a city to come together, donate things that we have, either gently used or new, to show the kids that we care,
Right.
enough to put our money where our mouth is, or give in order to make sure that they have whatever equipment that they need, to stay out of the streets, to not get bored enough to say, okay, let me go jump in her window, or let me go
Right.
do something that I don't need to be doing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Definitely, man. I know, Markel, I know you all about that, man, with helping, with what you do in the community with young people, man, that kind of thing. So, and you got sons, so
Yeah, I got sons, and it's like you really would like your sons, man, to not, get involved in things because you've told them better because the experiences you had, and it's like sometimes they listen, sometimes they
Gotta
don't.
learn for themselves. Yeah,
You know what I'm
sometimes.
saying, man? And it's like, and it's kind of, it be disheartening a little bit. I think a guy asked the other day on a status or something, what do you let your kids live daydreaming? Something about you, but do you want your kids' dreams or your dreams to be their dreams or whatever? And I just said, I would like, for what I dream for them, and I would like for them to dream for themselves the same thing that I dream for them, And he kind of asked me, I don't know if he was kind of perturbed or whatever, but he kind of asked me like, why would you want to do that? Why would you just not let them do whatever they want to do and dream on it? I'm like, because they children.
Yeah.
And they don't, a child can be 18,
Yeah.
19, 20 years old, and their dream might change 10 times.
Exactly.
Right.
And you got to provide some type of direction.
Yeah, a guidance. Or you have to know your child and know their interests.
Right,
you know?
right.
So what I told him, I had another mentor named Daniel Yakubi. He owns a jewelry store down on Poplar.
Yeah.
But I didn't say his name then on the status, but he had 3 sons.
Okay.
And when I dealt with him as a young man, buying jewelry, and he gave me stock tips and stuff like that. And he had 3 sons, and he raised them and guided them based upon their astrology.
Okay.
And he knew, he was like, man, if they was little bitty kids, he was like, oh, man, he's going to be a lawyer, and he's going to be this right here. He already knew.
Right.
From the time his children was born, because he trusts the star, But we don't really know nothing about the Black American because we Christians, we don't look at the stars like that. Some of that's the devil. But anyway, that's a whole other story. We'll go there right now. You know me. That's a whole other story.
Right. Don't do the story.
That's another story. But staying on topic, man. Yeah, I'm full of them. I'm full of them.
Right.
But anyway, man, you really want to guide them and get them on point. And when I seen them later on, because I go drop in on them and talk to them every now and then.
Right.
All 3 of his sons are successful.
Okay.
They are exactly what he guided them to be, and they good. So my thing is, what he dreamed something for his children.
Right.
And he like, well, okay, I want my children to be successful, so I'm going to go through a great length. I'm going to go to the stars. I'm going to find out these dudes' zodiac signs, what they like, what their interest is going to be later on, and he and his wife got them to that point, and I always remember that, you know. So it's like I learned my kids, I listen to them. So it's like when you know them, you kind of want them to do different stuff. You kind of just want them to just be good people,
Right, exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
So I really didn't understand him asking me to come. Any parent, you always dream or daydream that your child is going to be this, you know.
Right.
Or my son could be president, anything, you know. So I really wasn't feeling it. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, so you know, and like I say, definitely shout out to you, man, with that on doing that for the kids and for the community, and of course, you know, we're Mound representatives here, man.
Yes, sir.
So, and we, of course, my brother here is Riverside, yeah. So of course, you know, the owners here, they're Westwood, so you know, Westwood owners, man. So, man, we taking care of the whole city, man. We represent the whole city. It's all Memphis. So, so tell them a little bit about the moving company, in terms of, you know, and what kind of business are you looking for today, and you know how people can get in touch with you if you know they hear moving company, you're coming up. You know, it's the end of the school year, you got graduation. There's going to be a lot of movement going on, like the summer typically brings, man. So, you know, what kind of business are you looking for? And
the special thing about our service is, and it's this way for multiple reasons, which I'll get into, but we are a labor service.
Okay.
So we provide the muscle and skills, and our customers normally provide a truck. So a rental truck, they'll go to U-Haul or whatnot, you know, rent that out for $19.99 a day.
So you provide the muscle.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So we provide supplies. We got the dollies, you know, tape, wrap, everything to keep your furniture safe. But we wanted to separate the actual labor from the trucking because it's so much of an overhead that the customers end up paying for. So with our service, it allows you the flexibility to choose whatever options you want, however men you want, however many men you want, and however many hours you want to use. So we just made it a simpler, easier process for moving and more flexible. Like I said, a lot of times people end up paying for that overhead initially because of so much of the cost that the company has to have. Right. So since we don't have a truck, since we don't have that huge overhead, we have very affordable prices.
The gas,
yes, sir.
All that kind of stuff.
We do provide insurance for the customers.
Right.
But
not
exactly.
the insurance on like a truck.
Exactly. So we allow them to find whichever the one they use. We always suggest U-Haul because it seems to be the easier process. But that's how we do it. And coming up for this summer, we're looking for similar moves that we've always looked for. You know, whether that be apartment, storage facility, house, anything like that. We're gonna show up and we're gonna provide extravagant services in whatever we do.
So what if they just moving something from upstairs to downstairs? Will y'all do that?
Yes, sir.
If
we send out a team. We love things like that. Just the other day, we had somebody call us, elderly couple that had a new washer and dryer that they had sitting in their garage for about 2 months because they had been waiting on a family member to come out and switch out the washer and dryer. Well, they gave us a call, came out that day, switched out the washer and dryer, hooked it up for them, and set the old washer and dryer in the garage where they wanted to. Just like that, real easy, didn't even take over an hour. And so we love doing jobs like that, and that's why I kind of want to make sure people know that we do provide labor services during holiday seasons, spring cleaning, anything like that. Any type of hands that you need. If you need, any type of muscle, we got you. We just put together a tiny house over there in Westwood where we had a head contractor, telling us where to move, where to put things, but literally we were just a set of hands, smart, friendly, professional labor, and we got that job done. So we're branching out into other things as well outside of just moving services.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about the tiny home piece of that. I'm definitely interested in that because I've got a couple lots around that are just kind of blank, so I'd like to get into that as well.
Nice.
I've had a desire for that for a minute. So, with your business model, do y'all? So if I rent the truck, y'all won't drive it, right?
I mean, we can drive it. Literally, we can provide any service outside of the actual.
So if I get the truck, then I have to put y'all down as a driver. Because you know how you do the U-Haul. You normally have to list out who the drivers are or something like that? Because a lot of times you have to have their ID and all that.
Right. Well, it is. They don't always. They're not always strict on that because say you have a driver, they drive to the house and then they have to drive their car. So they ask you, hey, can you drive this to the next location? Sometimes it's as simple as that. But oftentimes, if we know that we're going to drive prior to the move, if they're asking for driving help, we just send our whoever's going to drive, our lead team member, to the U-Haul location with them.
Yeah,
they
so
kind of
get all set up.
Exactly at the same time.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Yes,
but it makes sense from a model standpoint to take out that huge overhead piece.
Right. Because a lot of people, we have some people say, hey, I need a couch delivered from my mom's house, which is 2 blocks down, to my house upstairs.
Right.
You call a
so you
typical
can't show up with no big 30-foot
a
truck.
huge 30 just to drive it out, and then some people have minimum hours, minimum cost, minimum this, and so we kind of do away with that and understand that all moves aren't cookie cutter. We allow that flexibility so that people say, well, I want this service, but I don't want that service. I want y'all for this long.
You let them pick.
Yes, sir.
You could probably consult on them, but you probably let them, because they pick out their own truck, so they can determine how much size need and everything.
Exactly.
Instead of you determining it and charging them.
Right.
They can do
on an estimate, on a we allow them. We tell them our suggestions, of course, from a professional standpoint.
Right.
This is the typical size truck that you need for a 2-bedroom apartment, or this is how long it takes from a second story to wherever. We can provide that type of input, but outside of that, the final decision is on the customer.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Man, well, thank you for sharing that, man. With your business and that kind of thing. And Markel, you got into a little bit with your business, but photography and videography is something else that's not really cookie cutter, especially nowadays, man. There's so much involved in that. So talk about what you're doing to help businesses. When you're talking about promotion with photography and videography, and then I want to talk about what you're going to do at the NBA draft party that we're going to have here. So I'm going to get to that in a second. But man, just hit them with a little bit of what you're doing.
What I'm doing right now, I'm trying to link up with all the black businesses here in Memphis, or the ones that's established and the ones that's getting established, whatever. And I'm offering promos for like $150. So I go to their restaurant, set up, do the interview, do $150 fee, and shoot it. And I have a pretty much large following, and I just keep promoting and sharing it, and you can't beat that for $150. I even do it for your business. I'm not really limited to what type of business I work with or work for. Yeah, I work with several already, doing different things, commercials and shooting events and stuff like that. I just did the Memphis Local Music Festival, the 2nd annual, and I just shot the entire festival by myself with an iPhone and a camera.
Nice.
And didn't miss nothing.
Yeah,
ain't miss a beat.
So man, talk about with that, man, because I'm curious as to business owners understanding the importance of promotion, because a lot of times, man, it's easy to look at, people look at their checking account, they look at, I ain't got the money to go do that. Right. You know what I mean? And they start cutting corners, or they don't do it. But then they, in the long run, then they have to advertise that they done closed the business, or and all that. Right. So you go advertise and promote one way or the other. Either you're gonna promote that you got the business, or you're not gonna promote that you got the business, and then you got to promote that you don't have the business. You know what I mean? Right. See what I mean? So you go
which one you want to promote, right?
Which one you want to invest in. So man, maybe talk to the importance of doing it, to begin with, and how it can, it may not be an instant gratification type thing, but
it's really
over time, how it can really help you drive the business.
Really, to be honest, whenever you do a marketing campaign, you can gauge a marketing campaign anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. So if you started at one point and you put a couple of things out there, whether it's direct mail for a company, whether it's a promo, or whether it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
But if you got a combination of all these different things, word of mouth, you do a little advertising on the radio, you get a couple of spots on Fox 13 doing Good Morning Memphis or something like that, or late at night doing infomercials on the weekend when people are coming in from the club, might be sitting down and catching the TV, it's important and it's vital. I mean, really advertising and promoting your business, that's pretty much the lifeline. That's the blood of your business.
How I'm going to get to you if I don't know about you.
Exactly.
Right.
And there's a lot of people, man, that would love all type of services that people may have, but if you have not reached them, or if you've plateaued off with your customer base, then you got to do something else.
Well, see, another thing that people do too, for both of y'all, man, is they limit their promotion to just Facebook, and that's all they do, because they it's the most personable kind of social media.
They make it easy.
Yeah, they make it easy. They allow the most number of videos and pictures and all that kind of stuff. And it's the community where their friends and family are. And so they limit their promotion. You see a lot of people get into business now, man, and the only thing they do is Facebook. And that's it, man. And they figure out why they're not really getting traction. You know what I mean? Because they don't use any of Facebook services or anything. They just post.
Yeah.
They create a page. They might create a website, but they don't drive any traffic to the website. And then they get frustrated because they don't invest, man. So talk about, you can talk about certainly for your business how you've invested, Brother Arnett. But, Brother Eskridge, man, speak to that, man. How people, limit themselves sometimes and how they have to diversify by using video and photography and all these different platforms, man, to diversify your approach and to get yourself in different markets.
Exactly.
One of the things Facebook limits you to, and we're on Facebook Live, but you just that audience and maybe their friends, but that's just one segment.
Exactly. One demographic.
Yeah.
You got to be able to cross into other demographics. You got to be able to have pretty much a Swiss Army knife. You got to have a toolbox full of tools that work for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, like, say for instance, like if I'm going to market your company with what you're doing, the first thing I will market with your business is what you're doing for the community.
Right.
Hey, he's doing stuff for the community. How can you not help this young man? This young man is 24 years old. He's college educated. He's married. He's stable. There's a lot of things to sell you and what you're doing for the community.
Right.
And if you can do something to make somebody feel good about spending money with you because you help somebody else, that's easy.
Yes, sir.
And it's the same thing in advertising and helping businesses. Me, I love business. I love entrepreneurship so much to where it makes me mad when I see businesses, when I talk to them and tell them how important it is for them to share their business with the world, and they don't do it, or they second guess. It makes me mad because I'm trying to help them. A lot of times if you're a business owner and you're busy, you don't have that time to make that phone call or talk to the people at the newspaper about getting something in the classifieds, or making a video with somebody over here that live in Westwood or live in North Memphis or live in Rosemark or West Side that don't know anything about this place or don't know anything about what you do as far as moving or what Ron do with consulting, because hey, everybody move in different circles, but if you could go through all those circles with something that's universal that everybody needs, everybody won't have to move. Every entrepreneur needs somebody to talk to them about their business, and every entrepreneur needs to advertise and market their business. I'm talking about from the ground up.
Yes, sir.
And some of the most effective ways I found is direct mail and video. It's a combination because even though they say the post office snail mail ain't really nothing, to me snail mail as far as indirect mail is more effective than an email blast because people never read their email when they go to their mailbox every day.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I think the environment has pushed that. Initially, snail mail got that stigma because of email just being new and being brand new, and so everybody's attention was on it. Now that everybody is on email and it's oversaturated, you kind of remember a physical mail more so than you remember an email because you got to take your time, open it, read it, either that or throw it away. But either way, you having some type of contact with it. I have 100 emails and my promotions or spam or whatnot. I just highlight them all and then delete them. Never open them. But with a direct mail, you have to.
Another thing on direct mail too is that the cost has come down so much.
Yeah,
because you can actually go online to the post office, like was it USPS.com, and they'll have it set up. Oh no,
I was
some water. Okay, I was gonna say I'm good for now.
Okay, that's what's up.
Cool.
I told them like your mama.
You won.
See, you done started something, man.
Yeah, I got my girl.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. So it's just there's just so much, man, to doing your business, man, and putting yourself in a position, to be successful. And you got to take that piece of it serious in terms of how you're promoting, how you advertise, and how you're doing your thing.
Yes, sir. And to speak on your point a little further, in terms of making sure you are marketing in different arenas and not just on one place. We get a lot of leads from Facebook. But the majority of it that we get, we have a contract with website, and we have the majority of them come through now. But it's on different rankings. So if we have a time where something doesn't go well and we're not as high on the list, then if I was only on that site, then that would directly affect how much money I make. But since we spread out into different contracts, then we have different spaces that we're on their marketplace. Say one falls off, the other one may pick up, or if both fall off, we have 5 of them where, somebody is going to give us keep us fed, and I think that diversification is important for everything that we talk about, whether that be advertising and marketing, or once you do get the money, what do you spend it on? Are you just spending it on one advertising, or are you spending it on Yelp and Angie's List and Facebook as well as Google?
Right.
So I do
kind of diversify now.
The best thing to do, I think, would go with Google Analytics. You can go with Google Analytics because it's going to tell you what you're doing, or it's going to tell you about all the businesses in your area, or who you can contact, client base, and direct mail. You can go into like what Ron said. You can go into the U.S. Post Office website and go into the business part. It'll show you every zip code in the city and every neighborhood. You can pinpoint each neighborhood that has how many people there, the ages, and some the neighborhoods like $80, $70, $60.
So you hit the whole neighborhood.
They hit the whole neighborhood.
See, I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to write that down.
So there's a lot of with direct mail where the cost has gone down and you can target. See, what used to make direct mail so expensive, one, printing was what it was. So you had to print out, even if you're doing the whatever size cards that you're sending out. So then you got that, and then you had to send it to this whole wide area that isn't as targeted. So now you're sending to people that may not have any propensity to buy from you at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just so you can always pick out a product as an example. You know what I mean? But it's just like saying, well, you sell diapers to the senior care facility. Why? You know what I mean?
Well, you may.
Depending
on the size. Right. I'm with you.
You know what I mean? So you're right though.
Right.
So you want to make sure that now the technology allows you to target. And that's really the critical thing, because you need to be able. Some people, they don't like that because it takes effort, and so they don't like to target. They just like to blast out to everybody. That's why they love Facebook, because then they can just send it to everybody,
and then just hope somebody call back,
right?
Instead of being more deliberate in what you're doing.
It's the machine gun approach versus sniping. They don't like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
See, a sniper, you're picking off, you know what I mean, what it is that you want to pick off. When you got machine guns, but you just spraying
the crowd. Hope you hit it.
Yeah, you hope you hit it. The problem with that is that could get expensive, and you might hit something that you don't mean to hit, or ain't gonna do nothing when you hit it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so that's where you've got to be able to target to the market. There's very few markets. Even if you say toilet paper, you sell toilet paper. You would think everybody's your market, but everybody's not, right?
Because it's natural. It's thick.
Right.
Oh man,
well, see different. Yeah, exactly.
I got a story about toilet paper. We'll talk that one after the podcast.
Yeah, keep talking about the podcast.
Turn the mics off, somebody.
We'll talk about the toilet paper after the podcast. Hey, but look.
But hey, man, I want to jump in too, because I know for sports fans out there and people in business too, you had the NBA draft lottery that hit. And by the way, we're hosting the NBA draft party right here, Slice of Soul.
Nice.
June 21st. Markel's going to do the photography, videography. Howard and Anthony, the owners here at Slice of Soul, go be here. We're going to be here in the lounge. We got TVs and stuff going. We got the projecting screen. So definitely come out Thursday, June 21st. If you happen to be in Memphis that day, come out to Slice of Soul, 1299 Madison Avenue. Memphis, Tennessee 38104. And you can check us out, man. We're going to have a great time. It's a nice lounge. It's going to be great food. Might have a few surprises that I'm working on. Shout out to my soror, Evelyn. I'm hoping to get a few surprises with the Grizzlies and some things like that. So you never know who may show up. So you want to make sure that you're there. 5:30 on June 21st, man. But I had to get that shameless plug in.
Yes, sir. No shame.
My own podcast.
Right.
But yeah, man. So what do y'all think? I know you may not be the biggest sports fan, but the Grizzlies got the number 4 pick in the draft after coming off a really rough season, a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries, a lot of different things going on, and some people went into the whole tank thing. So I want to get y'all's thoughts on it kind of overall, and then I want to ask you a question from a business perspective as it relates to the draft. But what's just kind of your thoughts overall on the draft with the Grizzlies position?
Well, I know they won't get Marvin Bagley. I know that for sure.
Yeah, there's probably a chance they won't.
Yeah,
they could, but it's a low probability. You know what I mean?
I think the only way they get Marvin Bagley, they got to give some up with him and that pick. I mean, to get him, they got to give up that number 4 pick and maybe.
But you know what happens is sometimes, man, it's so early on. Once they get into workouts and they interview, some guys may shoot up or down a little bit. Because a lot of times, man, like anything, man, you get there and you see a guy in college, you see his highlights.
It ain't what you thought it was. Right.
But once like a lot of times this happens, man, you get there and a guy that you thought was 6'4" is really 6'1".
Exactly. I seen you say something about you were playing ball and you said man. You were 6'4", and everybody laughed.
They announced me. It was like, man, 6'4" guard. Ronnie Brooks, 6'4", man. I thought they talking about some other cat. So then I stand up, man. I'm all laughing. Like, man, that dude ain't 6'4", man. That dude's 6'1", 6 feet.
Even.
So man, them folks would check it, man, and then and they did everybody like that. Even like our 3, he might have been 6'4", but then they announced him as 6'7".
Oh wow.
Yeah. So then he jumped like, man, dude, they 6'4",
Oh,
so
they trying to boost it.
Yeah, so they try to boost it, try to sometimes, and whatever their strategy is, or intimidate and whatnot. But really, the point is that what you end up finding out is that guy's not maybe as tall as he is, or maybe he is, or maybe his wingspan, or maybe he can't jump, or maybe he's got an injury, that maybe sometimes come into play.
But let me ask you this: how do they watch these cats play all through college? All through, the March Madness, the Final Four, and all that stuff, and get to the NBA and can't play.
Well, but here's the thing, though, Markel. I'll answer that, because what happens is it's the same thing in business. Like, you can go through all the schooling, you can rear somebody up, but see, it's a different thing. And you know this, Brother Arnett. It's one thing to go to class and learn about business. There's another thing to get out here and do business. Mm-hmm. You could be really good. You're A+ student in finance. Yeah. You think, he or she will get out here and bust it up because they got a lot of talent in the classroom.
Right.
But see, the classroom's mostly theory.
Right. It's theoretically and versus pragmatically.
I think it's totally different businessman than I was an MBA student. Because it's like they were constantly trying to put me with people like, we're finna go to this job. We're at work and we got to... And I'm like, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, I don't want to work for nobody.
And I always talk about this on the podcast because I always separate out the difference between theory and then the actual practicality. You know what I mean? And that's why, I tend to be more about the practicality because the theory helps you give you a base, but it's limited to, that's the academic side of it. It's limited to, if the inputs are mostly fixed, this is what should happen. It doesn't take into account the variables. And y'all know in business, the variables vary.
The unknown unknown.
The unseen variable.
As Mike Tyson once said, hey, the boxing match don't start to whoever takes the first punch.
Yeah.
Till you take that first punch, the match ain't started. So it's one thing to get up there and hit your gloves together and they ring the bell and then y'all dancing around. But as soon as he catch that chin, whatever strategy you had, out the window. You know what I mean? Yeah. When Mike catch you on that chin, now you're gonna want to bite in your ear. But if he catch that chin,
it ain't much you can do.
Whatever strategy you had against Mike, go out the window. Because now y'all fighting. You scrapping now.
Exactly.
And that's what happens, with this is you can watch a dude, or in the WNBA, you watch her through college stuff, but you haven't seen her up or him up against equal competition.
Right.
See, when you get to the NBA, everybody can play. Even if a dude you think that's sorry, but bring him up here to the Y and see what he do.
Burn everybody
Bust,
up.
I don't care who it is. PJ Tucker for the Houston Rock, he might not do. He ain't scoring 30 points and stuff in Houston. Bring him down here to the rec center.
It's a totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, he
gonna shine.
Yeah, he gonna bust everybody.
Big fish in the little pond.
Yeah,
You're right.
But see, a lot of times, man, in pros, like all the variables. So now, nobody's telling you what to do. You on your own, and now it's about your work ethic and are you in the right situation and who helps you to grow that. Do you perform well? When you don't perform well,
Are you in a good system?
Can you keep your confidence up, like we were talking about earlier?
Exactly.
Right.
You were
When
like,
you
how
get
would you
down,
ever do it? Gotcha.
and you playing so many more games because in college, even if you play 40 games, that's just half the NBA season.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And don't make the playoffs. That's why it's crazy to see like what the young cats doing for Boston, like Jason Tatum and these guys, because he's playing more games than he'll ever play. You know what I mean?
Jaylen
Like
Brown, something serious.
yeah, Jaylen Brown's nasty. So these young guys, everybody don't pan out that way because now you got the bag now. You know what I mean?
Right.
You done secured the bag.
Change your life.
You know what I mean? You're playing against other grown men.
You're not living on a college campus.
Yeah,
You
you're
out there
not
on your
insulated no
own.
more.
Right.
You exposed now. And see, in the NBA, because guys it's just like in the job market and everything like that. Every year, Marvin Bagley's coming out. So your job's on the line every season. There's only a few guys like LeBron and Dwayne Wade, your spot's locked in. Everybody else, Kobe Bryant, your spot, he gonna be the guy. Just about everybody else, you get injured and that
Disposable.
young guy
Yeah.
come in and outplay you, or you know what I mean. So that's what happens in the draft, bro.
Now, keeping it still with the Grizzlies or whatever, what do you think about them going to Seattle? Because I've heard that in a lot of the NBA forum talk.
Yeah, I think that's kind of gone down now because I know the owner, Robert Parra, has kind of solidified his ownership deal. And I know they're contractually, I don't know the exact
You got to
terms
think of like
and things
another
like
4 or
that.
5 years.
Maybe longer than that.
You think?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think maybe longer than that. But they've got some time, and there's some disincentives, I guess, to do that. Now, as a long-term kind of thing, it is possible. You know what I mean? Because
We need to keep them here.
yeah,
We need to keep them
because
here.
it's going to be horrible if they go, because football will never come.
No.
We'll never get in. I mean,
NFL,
yeah,
Right.
I really don't think so.
you got something?
I do. That's
All right.
yours. I'm not in a rush. I just like to go ahead and give them out.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, because we want to make
Take
sure we
your
do
time.
that.
There you
Thank
go.
When we posted like Kareem.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think Grizzlies, being here, especially having a pro team, I think that's huge. I think it'd be even better if they were winning.
Right.
So with
Always
us having
better
a lottery pick, even though it's 4, we were hoping for something better. I think that'll be good for our city, period. I think Penny coming is good for our city.
Oh, yeah.
I
It's
think
huge.
us winning in anything that has Memphis in it is good for the city.
Right.
So whatever pick we get, I hope they come and ball out.
Yeah, no
Yes,
doubt
sir.
about it. No doubt about it, man. And
Really?
it's good you mentioned the Penny thing because I did an episode a few weeks ago when he first got hired and talked about a lot of things with Coach Hardaway now, man, and
Yeah.
the support these guys. If we continue to
Coach
do that,
Hardaway, that sounds good.
yeah,
Hey.
it sound real good, don't it? Yeah, for those that met him and know him, you definitely that's an interesting title for him to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Knowing where he came from, but
Exactly.
but he's just an example of somebody that's worked, man, and put himself in the right position, networked, and has demonstrated a good heart for the city.
Yes, sir.
And he's putting together a team now, man, and coaching staff and everything. So shout out to Penny on that, man. But
That's nice.
yeah, so what do y'all think about with the draft from a business standpoint? Because the draft is normally about, like we talked about, recruiting, talent, and things like that. And y'all have talked about y'all's businesses. So how important is recruiting the right kind of talent? I know for you in the moving business, you got to have the right kind of talent,
Man,
because
you
know what
ain't
I
got
mean? And then videography and photography, it's more than just holding the camera and just pressing the button.
Yes,
You know what I mean? So talk
the
about
light, the apertures, shutter speeds, it's everything.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, from my perspective, I really that's a huge part of the business because you can set whatever. You can write down whatever values, core values. You can write down whatever procedures that you want the team to follow, but it's on them to go out and follow it. I'm not on every move. I'm not on a lot of moves actually. So
Right.
I set standards, and I expect whoever is in the lead position or on the team period to perform.
So
Right.
you're the general manager, so you need a coach. You have to have great coaches. You have to have great coaches. So it's like, so every time you send somebody out to a house, you send
Yeah.
a team
Exactly.
with a coach.
Right.
Literally.
You general manager.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying? So
And
really,
it's super important on who you pick, especially to make sure that they not showing face in front of you and then going on site and being a totally different person.
Exactly.
I think that's the importance of Facebook as well. You can go, and I always go through these guys' Facebook and see
What they're- you
how
get a sense of their
how
life.
are you live, what are you posting, are you a family, whatever it is.
What are their
because-
values?
Yeah, your values.
I lost a
'cause it's
client like that a
huge.
couple of years ago. See, it was like, when I started my business,
Yeah.
I was still like a lot straight. I'm in the office. I'm in Cooper Young, in the nice place. I'm in a nice area, thugged out. And it's just by the grace of God that, people would, get me, hey, come here, man, let me talk to you, They'll pull me over to the side and talk to me, and give me, sharpen my blade a little bit, because I was wilding out over there in Cooper Young. I'm talking about, man, it was wild. And I just had to learn, man, that as far as the business go, I mean, you really have to protect your brand. And the Grizzlies have to protect their brand with this right pick. Because if they don't make the right pick, because, you remember Big Country, when they was in Vancouver, they ain't recovered.
We ain't got to talk about that,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, but they ain't recovered
Yeah.
from it yet. I'm
Right.
just saying, they ain't recovered yet. But, and letting Powell go.
Man, the biggest blow was the beat. What happened with him?
Oh yeah,
Well, was he
Nasheed
number
Dabeed,
one?
He was number 2.
That's
And,
ridiculous.
so
The
this
biggest bust.
So the administration here, has a lot to answer for, man. And hopefully they can nail this pick, man.
Yeah.
Definitely for this year,
Yeah.
number 4. But Markel, talk about, kind of like Brother Arnett was talking about, man, where the importance of being able to, like, for you when you've got a team of people on your team, photography and videography, like you said, man, it's more than just anybody can go buy a camera and say they're a photographer. But then you got to have the right eye. You got to understand how that camera works. You got to understand moments in time and things like that. So same just like you was describing in the movie business, where you got part of like the draft is you got to be able to nail the talent that's going to be a good fit for you once you put them live. Because like you said, everybody go tell him, yeah, I want to work, I want a movie, yeah. But then when you stick him out there and he turn his back, because he can't stand over everybody and watch them the whole time. You know what I mean? So it's the same for your business. So talk about that, man.
What I would do, like I advertised for advertised for some help a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And what I know with everything that I want to do with photography, videography, you got to have somebody that know how to that understand and adjust lights. You got to have somebody that know lighting.
Right.
You got to have somebody that, like say for instance, if like me, I shoot with Canon. So let's say for instance, I may have a job to do with somebody and they may shoot with a Nikon. So I got to see how many megapixels the camera got. I got to see, do they understand light? I had to show them, can they shoot like how I shoot? So I had to see some of their work. Do they know the rule of thirds? Where you got to have a person on the right, on the right side of a picture. You got to know how to frame, just like how Ron framed everything behind us. So aesthetically, anybody looking in at us, they can see this, they can see all this, and we're framed and we're all in here, and it looks presentable. The way it's framed, looked at the brick going one way, and then, it's just little bit of nuances about photography that you don't have some stuff you don't want to teach.
Right.
Off top, because it's like it's a headache. You don't want to have nobody. You going in. Let's say we're doing a photo shoot in here, and you see how you see some shadow of the light, and you see a lot of light, right? So let's say, for instance, if I were like it's kind of warm. It's kind of warm in here, because it's brown, and the blue will make it cool. So right now, where we're seeing the light right now, it's warm. But if I wanted us to have a clear, bright white light, I would just get a camera right here and put up a blue filter and cut it on. The blue light mixed in with the warm light makes white light.
That's white light. Yeah. But see, those are the things. So you talked about, both of y'all talked about some technical pieces of your business, and then you mentioned, Markel, things that you don't want to have to teach. See, it's the same thing in the NBA draft when these executives are evaluating talent.
Exactly.
There's certain things they don't want to have to teach. What is that? Same like in your business. Work ethic. You don't want to teach somebody how to come to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you got to stand over a cat and man, hey, wake up, man, you got to be to work. You know what I mean? Hey,
Exactly.
we got this event.
I've
you know what I mean?
had it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's not something you want to have to teach.
I want somebody that worked before me.
on.
Just like I was here before you got here. I always was taught in filmmaking.
Right.
In film school, if we're shooting at 11 o'clock, let's say we shooting at 12 o'clock. They said if you're on time, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah. So see, those are things that you don't want to have to teach because you're not able to. It's the same thing like this. So, when the guy gets to the NBA and all of a sudden now he's got a contract 3 years for $15 million, that's the most money he'll never made. Is he gonna keep the same dog in him that got him there, or is it I've arrived, I done got my money,
Right, kick
you know
my
what I
feet
mean?
up.
You know what I mean? And so it's the same thing even on a micro level with our businesses and people that are in business. And that's what you're evaluating is, can this person have that same dog? I guess for me, I'm big on toughness. Even like in sports and stuff, basketball, when I look at who the Grizzlies should take, I want a guy that goes hard, man.
You want a guy that's tough.
A guy that cares enough that when hit in the mouth, he's hitting back. You know what I mean? See, some people, they get hit in the chest, they just cave and fall in.
Lay down.
You know what I mean? You got to have someone that, and you want them like that in life. You know what I mean? When there's a setback, something like that, they don't jump shit with you off your moving company. Oh man, let me go work for this moving company. As soon as they hit a little adversity, so you want to have same with you. Oh man, that event didn't go so well, so now I'm gonna jump and run over here. You know what I mean? So you got to have people that, and that's what you're evaluating is, can people have that kind of, and you can't really teach that. You know what I mean? Like you can teach people, how to pack boxes and do some different things and moving. You can teach people the technical thing, Markel, like you talked about with the camera and the lighting. You can teach them that, but you can't teach them the stuff that is really crucial to the business, man. So that's what I try to do, and we're going to talk some more about that on June 21st. The business side of the draft, because I think there's a lot of parallels and correlation between what people have to do all the time with their business, whether they're a solopreneur and it's just themselves, or they have to contract out work, or they're hiring people. You know what I mean? So, man, give some people some final words, man. From both of you. I appreciate you both taking time out, man, to jump on the podcast, man.
Anytime,
Here at Slice of
Likewise.
Souls, man. So thank you so much, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you,
Yes, sir. Yes,
brother.
sir.
Thank you so much,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Appreciate you.
Likewise. Well,
Thank you.
I'll start it off,
Yeah, go
man,
ahead.
by giving thanks to you for having such a platform and having the insight to create a medium for us to communicate with people who either, if they already have a podcast, if they already have a business of their own, in terms of helping them with it, or if they wanted to start one. So I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
And my final words, guys, if you have anything, I want to just leave it for the kids. If you have anything you wanted to drop off for them, and remember about your childhood, what helped make that important, whether it was kicking a rock down the road or a can or a ball. For me, it was a Nerf gun. Some spy equipment. Yes, sir. And you never know what you may gift a child, and that be the catalyst for what pushes them to do great things. So I encourage you guys to come out specifically to Slice of Soul, check out their good food, and drop off a toy or a book to help change the community.
Definitely.
Yeah, and y'all be looking for Extraordinary Hood People. That'll be a web series about situations in the neighborhood, and
I like that.
and also be looking out for a food show that I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna be at all the different restaurants eating their food. I'm gonna be the guy. I'm gonna be like Diners, Drive-In, and Dives of Memphis. I'm going everywhere, gonna get full. I just hope I don't gain all this weight back. I'm trying to make it happen.
Yeah, it's gonna say, man, you got to walk between the restaurants.
Don't be driving like you
You gonna see Mark.
I ain't gonna do the man against food. I'm gonna do a little healthy stuff. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit with the different restaurants that I do.
I like that.
But I'm gonna do that, and also be looking for Extraordinary Hood People. That's gonna blow your mind.
Yeah.
Because it's a rags to riches, ghetto, horatio alger story, and it's bound to eat real. hard.
So, Markel, how can they get in touch with you if they're interested in having you shoot an event or come out or help their business? You know, give them a way to get in touch with you.
You can call me at 901-628-5229. I'm sorry, my bad. And
Say it one more time.
901-628-5229. You can reach me at markelstudios.com. You can also reach me on Facebook.
Dig
right
that.
now.
Dig that, man. Well, brothers, thank you so much, man. We're kind of wrapping this thing up. And, man, I really do appreciate it, man.
Likewise.
I know it's a lot of short notice and things like that, man. But, man, I really appreciate it. And, man, you've been listening to the Minding Your Business podcast. I'm your host, Champ Ron, man. Thank y'all so much. Everybody that's on Facebook Live, thank you so much. Feel free to share the podcast. Continue to do that. Y'all done a wonderful job with that. iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast, Google Play. You can visit the podcast at themybpodcast.com. www.themybpodcast.com. You can email me at ron@themybpodcast if you want to be on the show or you've got some feedback, good, bad, and ugly. We want to keep this going, and we're on the drive to 50, man. 50th episode celebration, June 21st, right here at Slice of Soul Pizza Lounge, 1299 Madison Avenue. Listen, y'all have a great weekend. Shout out to my middle daughter, Tatum. Today's her birthday.
Yeah, Tatum.
Yeah, so
Birthday, Tatum.
yeah, so 7th birthday today. Shout out to her. Definitely appreciate everybody's love and stuff for that. So otherwise, again, have a great weekend. Make it great and get yourself ready to have a great week on next week, man.
Sir,
Definitely
yes,
do that.
sir.
Y'all be easy. Peace.
One.
Right. That was great, my man.